into the early evening hours as well. Now, if you've been outside at all, you know it is warm. How about this? Look at our temperatures here, and this is just after 11 a.m. And we already have some spots that are into the 70s. We're also getting some sunshine. So that could add some fuel to the fire here with this cold front that's going to be coming through. So we know it's been very, very warm. Yesterday we got into the 70s. Of course, Saturday was the day that we hit 80 for the first time all year. Right now we're very quiet on first warning radar. That sunshine is doing its thing, but this frontal boundary is going to form. And as this moves from west to east, we do anticipate some thunderstorms to develop right along this front as this is all moving from west to east. So this is a pretty strong cold front. You know, we're going to be well into the 70s here today. We may even have a few spots that make a run at 80 degrees here this afternoon. So we've got the warmth in place. By tomorrow, our high temperatures are all the way back down into the mid 50s with a brisk northwest breeze. So it is springtime. This is severe weather season. So we're going to keep our guard up for some potentially strong storms here today. Then we turn windy and colder for tomorrow. Much colder, like I mentioned, mid 50s and some rain chances returning toward the end of the week. But let's kind of break down the timing for you here. So this is our future radar. This is 4 o'clock. We've got a couple of storms that are, you know, kind of trying to dot the landscape a little bit here. Now advance this just a little bit and watch as this line starts to form. This is now 6 p.m. And this is our future radar picking up on the idea that we could have some real gusty storms in places like York and Lancaster counties and even sliding into Adams County. Now we go to 7:30 p.m. and concerning cell that you see there through York and Lancaster counties. But the one thing you notice, at least in terms of the strong storms, by and large, the setup here is that these will be to the south and east of Harrisburg, meaning that you have a much better chance of dealing with the severe storms if you are in Adams, York, or Lancaster counties. If you're north and west of Harrisburg, you might not see much of anything at all. It really just does depend on where that frontal boundary sets up. And then we'll take it into the day tomorrow. It turns windy for us. Like I mentioned, a lot of sunshine for your Tuesday, but it is going to be windy and it is going to be much, much colder. Now, this is what we have. Latest update here from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, and this goes on a scale of 1 to 5. So the area in yellow is the slight risk category, or a 2 on a scale of 1 to 5 for the idea that these storms could be severe. So you notice that, you know, all of this is kind of more focused on the eastern half of PA and the southeastern part of our viewing area. That's why I do think that the greatest chance, and our model reflects that, for us to actually have some severe storms is going to be south and east of the Harrisburg area. I also want to show you what our model's picking up on in terms of future rainfall amounts, because that kind of tells the story as well. You can see that it really wants to kind of put that stripe of heavy rain that goes right through York and Lancaster counties, where if you look to the north and west, you look at like New Bloomfield, Lewistown State College, barely picking up on much of anything at all. So that does appear to be the setup for us here, that these storms are going to set up by and large the south and east of the capital region. So there's your severe weather risk for today. Gusty straight line winds over 50 miles per hour. Certainly a risk of that, heavy rain, downpours, and all of this could be happening right in the middle of the evening commute. So that's always a concern as well. Obviously, we could have some updraft winds that could lead to some hail. And while the risk is very low, you can never just totally toss out the idea that we may have a brief spin-up tornado. We do need the rain. And unfortunately, I think with this system, there's going to be a lot of haves and have-nots. But take a look at the rainfall deficit that currently sits at 4.5 inches for the year. So again, we'll look for these storms to develop late afternoon, early evening, and then look what they do to our temperature overnight tonight. So, you know, we started out this morning in the 50s and 60s just to start the day. By tomorrow morning, we're all the way down to 40 degrees. And I do think these storms will wrap up from west to east by 10 p.m. this evening. So there's the rest of your week. So, you remember last week we had those blustery days where it was windy with temperatures that were in the 50s. We're going to be right back to that starting tomorrow. We do get another warm up on Thursday, an area of low pressure that I think is looking like it's going to stall out at this point, which is good news in terms of needing rain. Not the best news in terms of outdoor plans or the weekend. And Saturday actually is the opening day of trout season here in central PA. It does look like it could be a little bit damp, a little bit on the chilly side for this time of year with those temperatures that are in the 50s. But again, it's a weather watch day for today. We'll continue to monitor the situation. and be with you on air, online, all of our social media platforms. We'll have another update coming your way. Ed Russo is going to have one at 2 o'clock this afternoon to keep you guys updated. Then obviously Tom will be in along with Ed to take you through the late afternoon and evening as we track the potential here for some strong gusty storms. So weather watch day, but again, don't see that severe weather window opening up until about after 3 p.m. This afternoon and into this evening. So have a great day. Stay safe out there.